Alright, so every single Friday I release something new for the website. Every single week it seems I have no idea where to start, and it kind of just fumbles around until Tuesday, and then I get an idea and then go from there. This time I had an idea about a week and a half ago. I just haven't had time to execute it, but this is what it looks like so far. This is a 83 Silverado that I actually cut the bed off of, took it off using the jeweler saw, and what I wanted to do was replace it with this. So this is a front grille, interior, and a whole rear bed reassembly. Now this is meant to be lowered and kind of like a slammed utility truck sort of thing, and it's meant so that you guys can cut the cab, slide this guy right on, and boom, it'll fit and it'll be slammed. Well, it's not done yet, so I had to do some changes first to get it to fit right. So I figured I'd try and just change up the style of video I do a little bit on YouTube and take you guys along with the process. So right now I'm having some issues with fitment on the front grille and the interior. The interior actually needs to be pushed back into the bed a little bit, and that way it can fit the glass, and the front grille needs to go up. So there's a couple of small little changes, but overall it's getting there. Let's go. I'm gonna go back to my computer and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so we're back in my room, and this is what the file looks like right now. There is still some more work to do. This is kind of just dragged and dropped from my version 2 frame I made for the Silverado a while back, and the interior was actually from version 1. And then the utility cab I just made yesterday. But what I need to do is I actually need to move the whole interior. And for this project I just made it all one piece, but my other ones it's all separate pieces, so I can actually move and stuff like that around. But for this one I just made it easier on myself and just combined it all. So I'm thinking I'm going off this that I have here, but unfortunately at one of my last shows someone stole my other castings, because I actually had like two or three of them, and over the time they've all disappeared. So I only have this one, and I actually cut it, so I gotta find more. I'm sure I have some somewhere around here, but I don't have the windows for it, basically was what I was getting at. So it's hard to gauge right now, so I'm going off eyeball and past experiences on how things are supposed to fit, and we'll go from there. So looking right here, these got to move back at least a millimeter. Yeah, let's just do a millimeter for now, and then that should free up some of the space right here in front where the windows actually bend over. That's why that has a little fillet on it, or fillet, whatever you guys want to call it. So for this project I also added a more enforced frame right here in front, so that it does not snap as easily, because for my other projects I've done, it snaps pretty easily right there, and that was only because I was having trouble with the grill and fitment issues around like the hood and the crest and all that stuff, and how it all connects. So now I'm just gonna start adding a solid thing and rework it as needed, but for majority of it, it should be fine like this. So that's what that looks like right there. And this is reinforced interior to this, that way it don't snap here instead of there. So there's a bunch of little odd things I have to do to make sure my parts stay strong, but this is just a look at it right now. Like I said, not too crazy, nothing too detailed. I don't even have the little like lock, the grabbing mechanism that they do have on in real life, but I'm still debating on adding those. But this is what it looks like right here. These are meant to add some big wheels in there. I think I sized it for 14s if I'm not wrong. Let's see, 14s. Yeah, so this is how low I want it. So that would be the frame technically right there, and then oops, and then this would be the actual tire. So I want it to be able to fit super wide ones like that. Something you would see off like the premium, what car was it? Like a dairy truck or something like that, you know, something big. So that was one change I need to make. Another change I need to do was this, actually move this back wall back a little bit more because it was hitting the cab. You could just extrude that a little bit further back that way, and then that should all be fine there. And I wasn't too sure what I want to do in terms of detail in here just yet. I have to see some more examples. But for now we're just going to test print like that. But if you guys, I doubt you guys can see it, but there's a little air bubble right there, and that happens when the top layer is finished. So that's like a smooth finishing layer, and it sometimes traps air bubbles. So you can see it on the top two bed things, and then the middle one. So that's a whole pain. Sometimes you add texture, sometimes you add a little chamfer to it so it doesn't actually print like that, or like a drafting angle, whatever you guys want to call it if you're into injection molding. So I think that was a fine change here. I don't know if there's anything else. Alright, so we're going to do something a little stupid here, and we're going to hope that it works. We're actually going to cut... We're going to cut the body here. We're going to make an offset plane. And then we'll combine this, and these two, or four. Just for now. And then we can go ahead and split the body using that plane we made. Boom, and we're actually gonna move this guy up just because everything else is kind of aligning now. And you can see there's a little gap right where it shouldn't be, and that is about 1.3. Oops. 0.3, so now that should fit a bit better without having to do too crazy of adjustments. But now we have to figure out this, and I'm just going to go ahead, because we reinforced it, we should be able to go ahead and just move all of this stuff up there. My file's a mess. This is many iterations. Not very proud of it, but it works. Oh, actually not. Backtrack. We'll move this just up 1.3, and then we'll drag this down 1.3 again. That way the bottom still stays relatively flush, whatever that was. So now it's still flush. You just got a bigger front bumper, which is fine because it's a utility vehicle. And they usually have some bigger bumpers for heavier stuff. Maybe later on the line we can add tow hooks or something like that. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and test print this. So let's save it. So we're gonna save this and then go print it. And then once I have an example, I'll show you how it fits, and hopefully it fits first try. That'd be nice. All right, back in the garage. Test print is done. This it looks nice, but it looks also the same as it was before. And I did manage to get glass around the casting, so we'll try that out here. There is one thing I noticed. So first off, it looks really good. Almost fits perfect, in fact, but it's not perfect. There's a problem. The top part that I said I used for reinforcement, right there at the top of the where it connects to the interior to the frame, that's hitting the little button thing right there. So I actually have to sand that down a bit, and then we're gonna see if everything else fits, because I was like, why is it wobbling? Why is it not aligning right? Because this really should align perfect. That's the reason why. So I'm gonna sand that down right now using a little Dremel, and try not to mess anything else up. Alright, I have that now sanded down a bit, or Dremel down a bit, whatever you want to call it. Be careful when you guys are messing with this. Dust is toxic, so I was wearing a mask real quick, but it's not very good to breathe in. Alright, so right now it looks pretty good. Now there's no more wobbling. The grill is actually fixed. It's flush with the actual hood now, and the bed is in place. So overall, really good. I mean, this is my second print. The first one I did off camera. This is my second print. It's pretty good. There is one thing I don't like, and that is how the bed actually sits a little bit higher than the truck, the cab, whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit of a gap. So I don't know if I'm going to go and lower that maybe a little bit, but I think first we should throw on some wheels, see how they look. I'm going to go ahead and just throw on some Kragers that I have lying around. These are some defects I got, and just keeping aside so you guys don't get them, although sometimes they do slip through the cracks. If you guys aren't aware, these are actually a mold of wheels I made through China a couple years back. Got a whole mess of them, and so now I've been sizing all my stuff around this wheel to slowly get rid of them, because at the time I think I ordered, I don't know, 13,000 or something like that, a ridiculous number. And yeah, so I've just been doing all my builds around these tires to, one, slowly get rid of all that extra stuff, but just have a kind of like a uniform size of things. The front wheels are on, and I think I'm gonna run into a problem with the rear. I overlooked a problem here, and I thought I noticed it earlier, and I didn't think it would be an issue now, but it is an issue. This is the place for the hole for the rear wheel, the axle, whatever you want to call it. It's too high up there, so I cannot get it because of the way I have this inner part of the bed chamfered. I don't know if you guys can even see that, if it makes any sense, but basically the top of the wheel is hitting, and it's not gonna fit. I got the wheels to go in really nice, goes really low. I'll show you a video right now, but they still don't roll because of that little chamfering effect like I told you. So I gotta fix that, and also I noticed that the bow tie on the grill is actually lower than where it should because I forgot to move it up with the actual grill. But super cool. I love how this looks. Look at that. Alright, well, back to the drawing board. And you can see right here, all I'm doing is moving the bow tie in the front, raising the bed so the window sits, and I'm hoping that would actually push the bed further down so I won't have that awkward gap anymore. And this is just me messing around with the bed because that little chamfer, like I was saying, was stopping the wheels from going. And I'm hoping that when doing this that I could get away with using a chamfer because I like to have more material on there. But I later find out I can't, so I actually have to use a fillet or fillet. Again, not sure the correct way to say that, but this is me just messing around with the dimensions of that and trying to get that stuff to be as strong as possible. I eventually have to move some stuff up and remove some material I can get to be good like that. And then also I failed to show you, but I also added some diamond plate to the tops of these toolboxes. Alright, next test version. This one has the diamond plate, which I forgot to show you guys, so my apologies on that, as well as the updated axle holes. So hopefully the wheels will fit, as well as the wobble thing that was causing the wobble has been revised. So hopefully this is it, because this is third version and I'm over it already. Alright, after some persuasion, I got the axles to go in. Now the rear are having trouble because I'm using a one-piece axle, so that is just like a little button end. I cut off one of them and I'm just sliding it through, and because the actual axle hole is lower, or actually sorry, the axle hole is higher than the actual wheel arch, I'm having to like bend it or arc it in while also trying to keep the wheel straight. So I think this would benefit from using the three-piece axles a lot easier to go in because there's a lot smaller pieces and you can kind of just, I don't know, I think it's easier. But anyways, this is what it looks like now. It is amazing. I love the way this thing looks. This thing rolls, and this thing is super low, and it rolls really nice. Look at that, barely touching the thing. So I think this is almost done. I'm seeing one thing I have to change right now. Very cool. Alright, so the one thing I said that needed work is the rear window. If you can hear this. So that sound is the rear window, and we don't want that making that sound. We want it nice and snug and tight and nothing else. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the rear right behind the bench seats. I'm going to raise that piece up a little bit more. That will apply enough pressure going that way so that the cab will kind of hold everything in place like that. It might not make sense, but it makes sense. Alright guys, I went ahead and put some wheels on the current version. This is just off the printer right now, and I think it looks really nice right now. The wheels are rolling freely right here, and the axles, I lowered them down about, I think it was 0.25 millimeters. So very minor adjustment, but I think it helped a lot with installing the rear axles. I did it in 15 seconds, something like that, so very quick. And then also, before I show you, I went and added some little spacer things, I guess you can call it, between the interior and that frame part, that little part I was mentioning, but I actually added on the outer part so that it doesn't interfere with the little bubble that's on the actual casting. So now when you go and install it, there is no wiggle to the window anymore, so that's really good. So that is pretty much it. I can call it quits right here, and it's done. I think what I am going to do instead is add a couple little small details on the interior, maybe an ice chest, maybe a hard hat, stuff like that, to kind of make it a little bit more fun rather than just kind of a plain interior. And then that'll be it. But I'm not going to show you that in this video. You'll just see it when it comes out. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this kind of content where I actually take you guys along with me designing this thing, figuring out prototypes and this and that and that and that. Because it is fun, but this is what majority of my time looks like, is going to the printer and back and forth a couple times a day. And sometimes this is actually a really quick adjustment period. Sometimes it takes 2-3 days of just this to get something right, because I want my things to be perfect, and sometimes it can't be perfect, and I try and get as close as possible. But anyways, this is a roll test on how it all looks. This is fairly low to the ground and rolls no problem. These are on rubber wheels as well. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in this base and interior and frame and all the other stuff like that, it's available right now. It launches August 29th, 2025. So if you guys are seeing this now, it's available. If not, in the future, hopefully it's still around. But I hope you guys like this style of content. Please let me know in the comments if you like the longer stuff. I don't mind the longer stuff. I just want to know what you guys want. So yeah, if you guys are interested, check the website out. The link will be in the description below. And if you're into any 1/64 scale wheels, decals, or 3D parts, I have them on my website as well. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.